This is a Nova build that you need to add to your Warframe's arsenal. Why, you might ask? Well, for starters, your Null Star ability and Antimatter Drop ability one-shot literally everything in the game. You can kill all surrounding enemies by triggering multiple explosions. It makes you borderline invincible, and it can restore all of your energy and health all of the time. You'll be casting your abilities non-stop, and the other cool thing is that as you cast them, they actually get stronger. This build is going to make Steel Path and even level cap so easy that all of your friends and clanmates are going to want you to be in their squad. Before we get started, I'll be giving away one Omniforma bundle to a random subscriber that comments down below for every 5,000 likes that this video gets. So make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already. I've called this build the Nova Unlimited Booms build, and while it sounds quite simple, it's actually a little complex, so it's important that we understand each ability individually inside and out. First up, we have Null Star. Now, this used to be one of Nova's weakest abilities, and everyone would subsume it off, but now it's actually quite strong. It can grant you up to 90% damage reduction, and it also deals blast damage to enemies. For this build, we're going to be using not one, but two augments for Null Star, which is going to turn this ability into an always-on damage reduction nuking ability. The two augments that we need are called Molecular Fission, and this is for the 100% uptime on our Null Star. And the other augment that we need is Neutron Star. This is going to add heat damage with guaranteed status effects to the stars. So whenever we recast them, they're going to seek out enemies with double the range and deal damage to them. If we put these augments side by side, you can start to imagine how they might benefit one another. Molecular Fission lets us kill an enemy that's primed by Nova and have it give us back some of our stars. Neutron Star then turns Null Star into a nuking or damage dealing ability on its own, where we can recast it near enemies and then the stars is going to seek them out and kill them. Nova's second ability, Antimatter Drop, is also a nuking ability. You cast it, it spawns in a ball in front of you. You shoot this ball to pump it full of damage, and then boom, big blast damage explosion. In this build, we care about survival and dealing a lot of damage. So unfortunately, we're going to be replacing Wormhole, despite it being a super fun movement ability, with Hildren's Pillage ability via the Helminth system. Pillage is the best Helminth ability in the game, as it removes enemy defenses and feeds them back to you in the form of shields. Shields are going to be your main method of survivability in the end game of Warframe. Don't worry about scary status effects either. Pillage is going to get rid of those too. Nova's ultimate ability, M Prime, is a great ability. It can either slow enemies to a crawl or speed them up, turning them into the Flash. When affected by M Prime, enemies explode on death, and because of Nova's passive ability, depending on what you decide to do to the enemy, aka speeding them up or slowing them down, that actually makes them more likely to drop a certain type of orb. If you slow the enemies down, they are 15% more likely to drop a health orb, but if you speed them up, they're 15% more likely to drop an energy orb. This is going to be a very complicated and expensive build to throw together because we need to be invested into each ability stat besides efficiency in different amounts. We can safely forego investing into ability efficiency because we're going to be running Equilibrium and Prime Flow. Equilibrium is going to pair very well with Nova's passive, generating orbs that Equilibrium can use no matter what we do with the M Prime ability. Neutron Star and Molecular Fission have to be equipped into the build, otherwise the entire build falls apart. The explosion radius of our abilities is affected by ability range mods, so I've opted to use Overextended as a one and done mod to increase my range stat. Prime Continuity is equipped as M Prime demands a little bit of duration for it to spread. This is also going to determine how long the enemies affected by M Prime stay primed for. But now we're moving on to the tricky part, which is our ability strength. We have limited mod slots to work with, and all of our abilities, they benefit quite heavily from having as much strength as possible. What's most important though is Pillage. The more ability strength that you have equipped, the more of an enemy's defenses are going to be stripped away from a single cast of Pillage. Removing enemies' defenses is important for this build because a lot of Nova's abilities deal blast damage, and this is a damage type that suffers a lot if enemies have armor. The magic number that we need to hit to strip away all of the enemy's defenses in a single cast of Pillage is 400% ability strength. Now, we ain't getting anywhere near that number, so we need to reduce the amount of strength that we need. We can do so by equipping Corrosive Projection into our aura slot. After Corrosive Projection is equipped, Now we only need 328% ability strength. Because we have Overextended equipped, that takes us from a base 100% ability strength down to 40%. If we equip only Blind Rage and Transient Fortitude, that would take us all the way up to 194% ability strength, but obviously that's not enough. So we need to equip something like Mult Augmented in the Arcane slot to give us a bonus 60% ability strength after we get 250 kills in a mission. And this is going to take us all the way up to 254% ability strength. 254% isn't the 328% that we need. So we're also going to equip an arcane called Arcane Power Ramp, and this is going to increase our ability strength by an additional 36% when we cast different abilities, avoiding casting the same ability 2 times in a row. 254% plus the 36% from Arcane Power Ramp leaves us at 290% ability strength, meaning we need an additional 38% ability strength to fully strip in one cast. To make up for this, I've opted to equip 3 Talforged Crimson Archon Shards, all giving me 15% bonus ability strength for a total of 45%. So in a mission, after we've killed 250 enemies and we're making sure that we're not casting the same ability 2 times in a row, enemies' armor or shields are going to be fully taken away by Pillage. This high ability strength value isn't needed, as you can just cast Pillage 2 times in a row to fully strip an enemy's armor or their shields. I'm just overkill whenever it comes to my own personal builds. Now, you can use whatever weapons that you like, but I recommend that the Felarx, Epitaph, and Praetos to really make this loadout feel busted. On the Felarx, I'm using a build that looks like this. It is an Incarnate shotgun that has a perk that gives it plus 2000 damage on non-critical hits. For some extremely odd reason, Nova's ultimate ability, M Prime, is able to inherit the bonus damage from the Felarx evolution, so using this weapon becomes a no-brainer. As it's a shotgun, it makes building the damage in the Antimatter Orb ability extremely easy as well. The Epitaph we have modded like this. This is a Heat Inherit build, which basically means if you hit the enemies with the Taff prior to your Null Stars hitting them, then the Null Stars heat damage will inherit the bonus damage from the heat mods and expel mod equipped to your Epitaph. It is also just a primer build too, so we can use that to prime the enemies with the Taff to deal bonus damage to them with our Praetos, which we've got modded like this. This is just your average melee influence build for the Praetos. The real reason that we're using this is for its Incarnate upgrade, Evolved Ascension, and that gives us a bonus 30% parkour velocity, basically allowing us to get around a lot faster. Now what we're going to do is a little in-game test of the build. We're here in a Steel Path Conjunction Survival, the highest level one, and you can see the amount of energy that we're starting off with, 175. So our goal is to increase this Mult Augmented number all the way up to 250, so then we get the bonus ability strength from it. And then also, as I cast my abilities here, you can see Arcane Power Ramp. Our goal is to make that stay at the number 4. So I'm just going to go ahead, spawn in some of the enemies. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to prime the enemies and slow them down. So I did that just by tapping my M Prime. You can see that the enemies are super slow. You can also see my little Null Stars are attacking the enemies, and my Arcane Power Ramp is at 4. So we're getting the max amount of ability strength from that. Now what we can also do is cast our Pillage. Then we can cast it again, get all those shields. You can see the 1,570 shields that I've got in the top right hand corner. Very nice. Now I can cast my Antimatter, shoot it with the Felarx, aim it at the ground, and a big boom happens. So that's all pretty cool. Now I can strip away the enemy's armor a little bit. Let's do it again. Then I can cast my little Null Star balls, and all the enemies are going to start burning around me. So that's basically the build. The other thing we can do, of course, is prime the enemies with our Epitaph and melee, and you can basically just play it how you want, as long as you don't cast the same ability 2 times in a row. And as for energy issues, you can see literally no energy issues. Now the other thing we can do is speed the enemies up by holding down the M Prime cast button, and that's going to make them more likely to drop the energy orbs, but it literally doesn't matter what orbs they drop because we've got Equilibrium equipped. So, you know, you'll be able to pick up both with all the mods that we've got equipped. And yeah, that's pretty much the build. Anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching, and make sure to check out another one of my videos to help out the YouTube channel.